Viewers, the Delhi High Court's decision to deny bail to Umar Khalid in the Delhi Riot Case has sent the ecosystem into a tailspin. Viewers, there is no other way to describe what the ecosystem is up to, because they are now screaming conspiracy, slandering judges, and painting a narrative that reeks of selective outrage and so much more. They think they can bully the judiciary into submission with their noise, their hashtags. Viewers, this is an ecosystem that picks its heroes and villains not based on evidence, no, or justice, but on agenda and only agenda. And viewers, tonight we will expose their double standards with cold and hard truth. Let's rip through the facade of this self-righteous ecosystem that dares to place itself above the law, above the courts, above justice itself. Viewers, in the Umar Khalid case, the court has spoken. No bail. With its lens firmly on a conspiracy backed by evidence and legal scrutiny. But this ecosystem is in meltdown, running riot with claims of injustice, vilifying the judiciary as if it's a kangaroo court verdict. They call Umar Khalid a victim, a beacon of free speech, and give him a clean sheet without a trial. But rewind the clock, where was this compassion for Sadhvi Pragya, branded a terrorist, jailed for years without conviction, hounded by this same ecosystem that cheered her persecution? No campaign demanding her rights, no tears for her ordeal. They declared her guilty, case closed. It was their verdict. But for Umar Khalid, they demand the courts bow to their verdict. Viewers, this ecosystem's hypocrisy does not stop here. Remember Yaqub Memon, a convicted terrorist, yet this same clique marched at midnight, flooded the streets and pressured the judiciary to halt his execution. They turned a clear-cut case into a spectacle, questioning the court's integrity while claiming to champion justice. Viewers, take the case of Afzal Guru, another convicted terrorist. This ecosystem painted him as a misunderstood figure, questioning the court verdict and demanding clemency. Viewers, who is fanning these flames? Have you thought about it? The Congress leaders who chant Jai Samvidhan have joined this ecosystem to berate the judiciary. The same Congress that talks of saving the Samvidhan stood silent when the 1984 anti-Sikh riot victims begged for justice. No ecosystem marched for those widows. No hashtags trended for those orphans. Now, their only excuse can be there was no social media then. But I hope you get the drift. When Umar Khalid's bail is denied, Congress echoes the slander, questions the court's fairness. Where was their love for the Samvidhan when they imposed emergency, viewers, jail dissenters? Where was their outrage when lakhs of under-trials, ordinary Indians with no famous surnames, languished in jails without a trial? The Congress and its ecosystem only try justice when it serves their politics. But bail denied to Umar Khalid, and see how they unleash a slander campaign to intimidate the judiciary. They want the courts to bend. They want the law to bow down to their whims. And they want the narrative to follow their script. They think they are supreme, not the law. Viewers, there are many cases of this hypocrisy. I can go on and on. When the Batla House encounter took place, this ecosystem cried fake encounter. Who can forget that? Casting doubt on the police and by extension the judiciary that upheld the investigation. They lionized the accused, viewers, spun tales of innocence and questioned the system. Viewers, the judiciary, flawed as it may be, operates on evidence, not emotion. It operates on law, not lumpen behavior. Umar Khalid's case, like Sadhvi Pragya's, Colonel Purohit's or any other, will be decided by judges, not by this ecosystem. And viewers, truth will prevail, not that toolkit justice.
Without adjudication, without conviction, without court conviction, they are already being punished. Why? because they belong to particular religion, that is, they belong to Muslim.
कातिल दंगाई इस मुल्क में हुकूमतों के बड़े बड़े सरगना बने बैठे हुए हैं। हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जो जब जवानी होती है, जब आप स्टूडेंट मूवमेंट में होते हैं, जब आप यूथ मूवमेंट में होते हैं, आपकी कोई बातें हार्श हो सकती हैं सत्ता के लिए। हाईकोर्ट में उनको बतौर क्रिमिनल पेश किया गया, उनको जिस तरह से ट्रीट किया जा रहा है, ये भारत के इतिहास में लिखा जाएगा कि उनके साथ अन्याय हुआ।
आज फिर से कांग्रेस और उसके समर्थित इकोसिस्टम को झटका पड़ा है जब उमर खालिद, शर्जील इमाम सहित बेल जो दिल्ली दंगों के मास्टरमाइंड रहे हैं, वो रिजेक्ट की गई है दिल्ली हाईकोर्ट के द्वारा। ये दिखाता है कि ये दंगे जो हुए वो स्पॉन्टेनियस नहीं, वो स्पॉन्सर्ड थे और किस प्रकार से हिंदुओं को चुन चुन कर मारा गया।
Let's open this up. Tuhin Sinha, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Dr. Shoaib Jamai, State President of the Delhi AIMIM, Ashwini Kumar Mishra ji, leader of the Congress Party, Dr. Sunny Dhiman, political analyst, Professor Atikur Rahman, and Dr. Anand Ranganathan completes the panel. Dr. Sunny Dhiman, let me just ask you what you think of the remarks by Congress leaders, Congress Twitter handle. There is one tweet by the Kerala unit of the Congress Party. It has said something that I don't want to repeat. It will come up on your screen. It is questioning the judiciary, berating it actually. Then you have Udit Raj, who says, look, Umar Khalid has been denied bail because of his religion. What an argument. Why say something as absurd as this?
Good evening. I would like to begin this conversation by saying that today I'm live from Punjab, the flooded Punjab, and the water is the proof for the argument I'm going to make. Today we are drowned by the trial of nature, and while we are distracted by the trial of distraction everywhere, the newsroom are totally not focusing on the real crisis the whole nation is facing, the climate crisis. Let's focus right now on this debate. Fortunately, you called the right person for this debate. I was the person who filed a complaint against Sharjeel Imam's hate speech. I was the first person. But my complaint didn't become FIR. Forget about it. But the real issue is today I apologize to Sharjeel Imam. Not because I second his hateful statements, but because today the whole system, the system of justice, that he has spent 5 years without a trial. This nation, the constitution of this India, the forefather of this nation, they wanted a nation where the trial should be there, and there should not be any discrimination in the name of religion, caste, gender or creed. But these two persons like Umar and Sharjeel, they are behind the bar without a trial. But if you remember...
one minute. Sunny Dhiman, are you suggesting that Umar Khalid and all the others that you named, they are behind bars because of their religion?
Yes, fair enough. Yes. Desh ke gadaro ko goli maro salo ke, if you remember, these were also the hate speech. But what happened? No FIR was filed till 2025, and these two people are behind the bar. Let the court decide whether they are guilty or not, but there has to be a trial. But they are still behind the bar.
Wonderful. Let the court decide. One minute, Dr. Dhiman. It is very good to hear these words from you. Let the court decide. 1 minute. Dr. Dhiman, 1 minute. 1 minute. Listen to me. Dr. Dhiman, 1 minute. Sunny Dhiman ji, 1 minute बात सुन लीजिए मेरा. मैं बस आपसे ये पूछ रहा हूं, मैं आपसे सहमत हूं, लेट द कोर्ट डिसाइड. लेकिन कुछ नेता हैं कांग्रेस पार्टी के, अब आप उनका ट्वीट देखिए. दे डिड नॉट वेट फॉर द कोर्ट टू डिसाइड. दे बिकेम जज एंड जूरी. राहुल गांधी कॉल्ड साध्वी प्रज्ञा टेररिस्ट. Who is Rahul Gandhi to declare that Sadhvi Pragya is a terrorist? Look at that tweet. November 28, 2019. Where was the conviction then? Which court of law in India or abroad had said that Sadhvi Pragya is a terrorist?
want to settle this debate by saying the very single point that there should not be any discrimination in the name of religion, caste, gender and creed. These two people are framed allegedly for instigating riot. Okay, let the judiciary do the trial. They are behind the bar.
Dr. Dhiman, I just have one question, one request actually. By your logic and by the courage of your conviction, please say that Rahul Gandhi jumped the gun. He is not above the judiciary. He should not have called Sadhvi Pragya a terrorist.
We are wasting the time of this nation while we are facing, the Gurgaon was almost a lake. The Punjab is right now drowning, but we are debating on the divisive line.
Who is debating? Why is the... No, 1 minute. Why is Udit Raj reacting? Why are you here? Did you not know we are not discussing floods? Why did you agree to come? आप जाइए, फ्लड वाले भी डिबेट्स हो रहे हैं, वहां पे चले जाइए. आप क्यों आ गए? आपको तो बताया था ना, आपको तो बताया था सनी धीमान जी. आई एम हैप्पी दैट यू आर हियर, बट आपको तो बताया था. नाउ इफ यू कांट कम अप विद आर्ग्यूमेंट्स टू डिफेंड दिस, देन यू विल से लुक देयर इज फ्लड, देयर इज समथिंग एल्स.
पर अगर आप बस एक पॉइंट पर टिके रहिए. अगर एफआईआर 2025 में हो सकती है,
एक ही पॉइंट पर टिका रहूंगा और वो पॉइंट है हिपोक्रेसी. The lobby in this country, this ecosystem of self-righteous people will not decide who is guilty, who is not. For that we have courts. शोएब जमाई, डॉक्टर जमाई, ये आप इस बात से सहमत हैं क्या जो लोग बोल रहे हैं उमर खालिद जेल में है, उनको बेल नहीं मिल रही है क्योंकि उनका रिलीजन, उनके रिलीजन की वजह से उनको बेल नहीं मिल रहा है?
National Editor Saab, thank you for very much for calling me on your debate. According to your interpretation, would you like to say that the judgment of the lower courts cannot be challenged or cannot be questioned? If the judgments of the lower court cannot be questioned, why there is a need of higher courts in India or in the judiciary system? Because we in a democracy, we challenge the judgment of lower courts. We criticize. We often criticize. Everyone criticizes. If the judgment does not go in favor of those right wings or the BJP ideological parties, they will challenge it. They criticize the judgments of the lower courts. Same like that in a democracy. As a freedom of expression, we should also criticize, we should also challenge, or we should appreciate whatever may be the context of the situation. In this case, in the case of Umar Khalid, or in the case of this Delhi riots, it is very much evident that we are seeing at least why the trial should not be started. As a
that is a fair question. That is a fair question, Shoaib Jamai. Mr. State President, it's a fair question. I support you. But ये बताइए कि ये क्यों लोग कह रहे हैं कि इनको रिलीजन की वजह से जेल में रखा गया है और रिलीजन की वजह से बेल नहीं मिल रही है?
So, see, this is not the statement of our President, Barrister Owaisi Sahab has not given this kind of a statement. So, I'm not responsible, I am not answerable to this.
Okay, you answer for what Mr. Owaisi has said about the judiciary. After the Ayodhya verdict,
yes,
Barrister Owaisi said this is a black day for judiciary.
Yes, courts cannot be the infallible. It should not be the absolute. Because we have seen that Parliament have given another kind of verdict after the courts.
एक मिनट शोएब जमाई, अभी आप बोल रहे थे कि लोअर कोर्ट्स के वर्डिक्ट को क्रिटिसाइज करना, सबको क्रिटिसिज्म का हक है. You can't attribute motive or start this slander campaign when the highest court of the land says decides a case, and when you say this is black day for judiciary, which other court is left? अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट से सुप्रीम कौन है? बैरिस्टर ओवैसी.
There is no reason to beating around the bush. We are discussing this particular debate on the context of today's judgment or yesterday's judgment. The thing is that very pertinent question, and you should stick to that. why the trial has not been started yet
I
after
only
the 5
make
years
pertinent questions,
imprisonment?
which is why I'm the national editor. You're still the state president. Mr. Shoaib
No, you
Jamai.
are talking like a politician.
No,
sir.
no, I am not. I
You
don't
are
talk
talking
like
a politician.
politicians. 1 minute.
You
I
should-
asked you a question on principle and you said, look, you asked me anything to do with Owaisi. And when I said what Owaisi ji has said, then you say, let's talk about this case. ऐसे मत, इतना जल्दी शोएब भाई ऐसे मत करिए. अभी तो डिबेट थोड़ी लंबी चलेगी. अतीकुर रहमान साहब, सर उमर खालिद जेल में है क्योंकि वो एक स्पेसिफिक रिलीजन से आते हैं. आप भी मानते हैं ये?
If you do not believe in this argument, then you must see that why that parliamentarian who abused the Muslims, calling him names, is still in the BJP party and a parliamentarian. Why no action has been taken against Anurag Thakur? Even he instigated Delhi riots because post his argument, Delhi riots happened. So if you selectively put people in jail and that too for 5 long years denying basic judicial rights of a bail, then it need to be asked that because of his religion, you are just, having this person behind bars
Atikur Rahman
because
Sahab,
somebody is equal.
Atikur Rahman साहब एक मिनट. आप बोल रहे हैं, there is a system that puts people selectively in jail. In this case, it is the judiciary. So are you now accusing the courts of doing a witch hunt against Umar Khalid? बोल दीजिए जो मन में है.
The only faith remains to me is the judiciary in India. We are not questioning the judiciary. We are questioning how the things have been put up in the courts related to Umar Khalid.
But what has
Sharjeel
religion
Imam
got
and
to do
others.
with justice? 1 minute. What has religion got to do with justice, sir? Atikur Rahman, आप बोल रहे हैं, I have faith in the judiciary. Yet you say this, everything will be linked to judiciary. Why are you on my debate, sir? आपको क्यों बुलाया है? आप जो बोलते हैं उसके लिए या कि आपके रिलीजन के हिसाब से सेलेक्ट किया हमने पैनल? Atikur Rahman, 1 minute. If we reduce all our arguments to religion, then there is no end to it. वो जैसे शोएब जमाई ने भी कहा कि क्यों इतने लोग हैं जेल में विदाउट ट्रायल, दैट्स अ फेयर क्वेश्चन. इस पे कोई डिसएग्री नहीं करेगा. यू कैन गो अराउंड द पैनल. बीजेपी, डॉक्टर रंगनाथन, अश्विनी जी, मैं, कोई डिसएग्री नहीं करेगा. इट्स अ फेयर पॉइंट. बट फिर वो दूसरे सेंटेंस में बोलते हैं कि ये जो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि वो रिलीजन की वजह से जेल में, उस पर वो स्टैंड नहीं लेंगे. तो ये बात करना ठीक नहीं है सर. रिलीजन से देख के वहां कोर्ट में फैसला नहीं होता है. अश्विनी मिश्रा जी, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तो जुडिशरी को भी नहीं छोड़ा. इज दिस योर फाइट अगेंस्ट द इंडियन स्टेट?
Pranesh ji, justice delayed is justice denied, and as per the CRPC, which is now BNSS, maximum default bail period for a person is 90 days. You cannot keep someone in jail without having trial to be started without facts for more than 90 days, except in certain circumstances. Now, we don't question judiciary because judiciary takes decision based on the facts presented to them. And who present the fact? For criminal cases, it is the government which has bias towards a particular religion. This is pretty evident. The government of India, which is led by Bharatiya Janata Party, hates particular community. Otherwise, why will they try to push and keep one person in jail for more than 5 years without a trial? If someone is
जवाब
guilty,
देता हूं सर,
have
अभी
a
जवाब
trial,
देता हूं.
convict them, put them
डॉक्टर
in jail.
रंगनाथन एंड तुहिन सिन्हा विल आंसर द पॉलिटिकल पार्ट. अब आपने जो ये लॉजिक से मुझे आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज द राइट वर्ड, आपने शुरू किया बाय सेइंग जस्टिस डिलेड इज जस्टिस डिनाइड. सर, डू द सिक्स नॉट डिजर्व जस्टिस? 1984 में जस्टिस किसने डिले और डिनाई किया? किसकी सरकार थी? कश्मीरी हिंदूज को कौन देगा सर जस्टिस? डिलेड, डिनाइड एंड दे बीन डेनिग्रेटेड. उस पे क्या कहना है आपका? अब आप बताइए.
So, Pranesh, There are cases in court and both parties are representing their cases.
Yeah, so now they are both parties. So there are cases in court and both parties are doing. And what do you know about the Umar Khalid case? Do you know the number of times the defense did not want the case to be heard? They deferred hearings?
No. Pranesh, I know the number of times the defense has presented the case to the court, but end of day, it is the government.
No, end of day, it is the court that decides.
Delay the trial.
Who, you think the BJP government decided to give bail to Rahul Gandhi? No, 1 minute. Gandhis are on bail in the National Herald case. Has the BJP given them bail or the courts? 1 minute. Sir, 1 minute. Bail दिया किसने? BJP ने दिया या कोर्ट ने दिया?
कोर्ट ने दिया.
तो फिर यहां पे कैसे आप बोल रहे हैं कि बीजेपी डिनाई कर रही है बेल?
Pranesh, understand, I myself is a lawyer. I'm trying to explain you. In case of UAPA or other certain laws, government can still keep someone in trial and put a fact that can basically put someone in jail and extend their trials based on certain evidence.
If you are such a brilliant lawyer that you are arguing here, why don't you implicate yourself in the case? आप कपिल सिब्बल जी को मदद कीजिए ना कि टीवी डिबेट आर्गुमेंट करने से उनको बेल नहीं मिलेगी. आप उनके केस को और मजबूत कीजिए, वहां जाइए और बोलिए अब मैं करूंगा, सिब्बल साहब आपसे नहीं हुआ, अब आप हटिए. Tuhin, Dr. Ranganathan, I'm just coming to you because the questions, are for the BJP. It's best that Tuhin answers first. Tuhin, the BJP government hates one particular religion, which is why this persecution against Umar Khalid and the others.
You know, people like Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid are akin to white-collar terrorists. They are enablers to, dangerous riots, dangerous anti-national activities, and that makes them at times more dangerous than the actual terrorists. And I'm saying this on the basis of the observations of Delhi High Court. Now, unfortunately, the pro-Congress panelists don't even go through the observations made by the Honorable Court. The court has very clearly explained the reason, has taken into cognizance the reason for the delay in proceeding with the trial, which is that the investigation is at the stage of hearing of arguments, and that the trial need not be expedited because the case is proceeding well. These are very crystal cut observations of the court. Now, I want to specifically just highlight two portions of the observations made by Honorable Delhi High Court yesterday, and that would explain the complicity of these people, that would explain the heinous nature of the crime committed by people like Sharjeel Imam. Keeping in view the nature of the allegations and specifically the submission of the learned Solicitor General and the learned SPP, that the present is not a case of regular protest/riot matter, but rather a premeditated, pre-orchestrated conspiracy to commit unlawful activities threatening the unity, integrity and sovereignty of India. It becomes the arduous task of the court to strike a balance between individual rights and the interests of the nation. Can we forget that it was the same Sharjeel Imam who had called for striking off the chicken neck from India? Isn't that, the language which a Pakistan enemy from Pakistan would speak?
No, Tuhin, I am not on that. Look, people can say what they want. If the courts think that, it is not legal, lawful, it is up to the courts to pronounce judgment or punishment. We should not sit in, and have value judgments. I get the larger point that you are trying to make, Tuhin, but you see, the ecosystem/opposition is saying that the BJP government is ensuring that Umar Khalid is in jail because he's a Muslim.
That on the contrary, Pranesh, let me put forth this argument. If these people don't even have a problem with Khalid Mashal, ex-Hamas chief addressing a video conference in Malappuram, do you really expect them to have a problem with Sharjeel Imam and the likes of Umar Khalid making such statements? And again, they gave that leeway to Khalid Mashal only because of the religion. So these people are fundamentally corrupt in their mind. They only use religion to exploit.
What do you make of this campaign that the ecosystem has launched?
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, let me be very clear. The judges have denied bail to Umar Khalid not because of his faith, but because of theirs. And their faith is justice. And to those on this panel and otherwise are saying Umar has been denied bail because he's a Muslim. Prosecution has collected evidence against him because the government is anti-Muslim. The trial hasn't begun because he is Muslim. Would they agree that Colonel Purohit was denied bail for 8 years because he was a Hindu? That his trial started after 10 years because the state was anti-Hindu? Kaun sa logic la rahe ho yaar? Number one, 5 points. I speak as a free speech absolutist who has stood for the free speech rights of some of the most despicable and evil characters one could find, and you know it, Pranesh. But this entire issue is not a free speech issue. Giving a hate speech is one thing, and by the way, I include hate speech in free speech. But planning and orchestrating a communal riot, being in the front line of the mob, carrying sticks in their hand, inciting a mob, pushing the police barricades violently, being culpable of unlawful assembling and rioting. This is no longer a free speech issue. These are serious charges concerning not a purported hate speech, but rather incitement and planning a riot. This is a fact. Number two, yes, bail, they say, should be the rule and jail the exception. But let's talk common sense out here. Not every under trial gets bail. There are rules for granting bail, are they not? Flight risk, threat to the nation, destroying evidence, coercing witnesses. These and many other aspects are deliberated by courts in detail before bail is granted. Now in this case, why should there be an overriding of this process? Especially when A, the Chief Justice is on record saying the defense was deliberately delaying the hearing and pleading adjournments repeatedly. And B, the bail has been heard and deliberated by the courts a dozen times. 3,000-page charge sheet, 30,000-page evidence, 133-page order, following which they have denied bail. And by the way, 71% of all prisoners in India are under trials, rotting in jail without bail. Umar Khalid hasn't been singled out, just that you care more about him than a million others. Number three, finally, this is important. Umar Khalid, Pranesh, is the symptom of a disease that inflicts this nation. A stinging indictment of our education system, where those who should be studying and making something of their lives indulge in hate politics because it rewards them more than education does. It wasn't the speech of Kapil Mishra or Varis Pathan or Harsh Bandar that was responsible for the Delhi riots that killed both Hindus and Muslims, but rather the actions of people like Tahir Hussain. The charges against Umar Khalid are for conspiring with Hussain based on call records, meetings, planning, and Hussain's own confession. Khalid is a journey that began with his eulogizing the terrorist Burhan Wani, making out the terrorist killing as a judicial murder, and from there to Shaheen Bagh, then to Delhi riots, is a lesson for all youngsters. Hate pays, but only for the shepherds. The lambs proceed to the slaughterhouse, and all along the way, they bleat. Hatred for Modi was transmogrified by Umar Khalid into hatred for a plural, non-appeasing India, and that is the reason.
Okay, Dr. Sunny Dhiman wants to respond, but before I bring in Sunny, I just want to ask Shoaib bhai. Shoaib bhai, जैसे तुहीन ने कहा और डॉक्टर रंगनाथन कह रहे हैं कि अगर ये वाला लॉजिक दे रिलीजन का, आपने नहीं दिया, मैं आपसे बस वो पूछना चाहता हूं कि एज अ राइट थिंकिंग इंडिविजुअल, तो इस हिसाब से कर्नल पुरोहित, साध्वी प्रज्ञा और भी बहुत सारे केसेस हैं, उसमें रिलीजन पे फैसला हुआ था सर?
नहीं, देखिए, सवाल घूम फिर के यही आ जाता है कि कोई भी आदमी कितना भी बहुत बड़ा जुल्म किया हो, कितने भी उसके सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज की बात आप करते हैं, लेकिन हमारे देश का एक संविधान है, हमारे पास एक लॉ है, कानून है, और संविधान डेयर्डेड क्रिमिनल्स को भी जस्टिस सर्व करता है। डेयर्डेड क्रिमिनल, एंड इट इंश्योर्स टू सर्व द जस्टिस टू एनीवन, एनी सिटीजन। यहां सवाल सिर्फ उमर खालिद या शर्जील इमाम का नहीं है, यहां सवाल उस सिटीजन का है जो भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते केस में इन्वॉल्व है, लेकिन वहां जस्टिस इस तरीके से मिल रहा है।
बट शोएब भाई, इसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है, इसमें तो सब सहमत हैं। ये आप सही कह रहे हैं, ये तो एक सिस्टेमिक इशू है कि इतने केसेस पेंडिंग है, समय लग जाता है ट्रायल में, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। ये मैंने भी बोला, डॉक्टर रंगनाथन ने कहा, आई डोंट थिंक अश्विनी जी भी इसमें कोई कुछ बोलेंगे। लेकिन मैं आपसे लार्जर सवाल पूछ रहा हूं। आप देखिए, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं। अफजल गुरु को कोर्ट ने सजा दी फांसी की, उसके बाद भी कुछ लोग हैं जो बोलते हैं कि वो मिसअंडरस्टूड था, वो उसको टेररिस्ट नहीं बोलते हैं, याकूब मेमन को टेररिस्ट नहीं बोलते हैं, और फिर बोला जाता है कि फ्री स्पीच है।
लोअर कोर्ट्स और लोअर जुडिशरी का जो माइंड सेट है वो किस तरीके से कितना फ्री है।
शोएब भाई, ये लोअर कोर्ट तो नहीं था ना, ये तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट था सर, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट था। अयोध्या वर्डिक्ट भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट था। ये लोअर कोर्ट से तो बात ऊपर चली गई है।
मैं इस केस की बात कर रहा हूं। आप कहते हैं कि यहां से कि जस्टिस की बात होती है। जस्टिस शेखर उपाध्याय का नाम सुना है आपने? जस्टिस शेखर उपाध्याय।
एक मिनट शोएब भाई, मैं आपसे बस ये पूछूं, देखिए जजेस, हम अगर जजेस को डिस्कस करेंगे, दे आर नॉट हियर टू डिफेंड देमसेल्व्स। मैं आपसे एक प्रिंसिपल पे पूछ रहा हूं। अगर लोअर कोर्ट, तो साध्वी प्रज्ञा का भी तो केस लोअर कोर्ट में था, बहुत और भी लोग हैं जिनका केस लोअर कोर्ट में है। कल मुझे और आपको ही कुछ हो जाए तो हम भी तो लोअर कोर्ट से ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाएंगे सर। लेकिन जो सिस्टम है, तो ऐसे तो नहीं बोल सकते कि शोएब भाई हैं तो चलो उनको 7 दिन कर दो और प्रणेश हैं तो इनको 2 दिन में छोड़ दो। ऐसे सर कोर्ट नहीं चलता है, और हमको ऐसा ये जो इर्रेस्पॉन्सिबल कमेंट्री ये करनी भी नहीं चाहिए। सनी धीमान काफी समय से कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं। यस डॉक्टर धीमान।
यस, कुछ बोलने से पहले आप जरा ये जरूर सुने, क्योंकि ये इग्नोर किया जा रहा है।
सामने खड़े हैं, मैं आप सबके बिहार पे ये बात कह रहा हूँ, ट्रंप के जाने तक तो हम शांति से जा रहे हैं।
हाँ, ये वीडियो डॉक्टर सनी धीमान, कोई भूला नहीं है इस वीडियो को। ऐसा नहीं है कि ये वीडियो पहली बार आप दिखा रहे हैं, बट कोर्ट ने, डॉक्टर सनी धीमान एक मिनट, आप बोलना क्या चाह रहे हैं?
ऐसे नहीं होगा। सुनो, आपके सवालों का जवाब मैं दूंगा। साध्वी प्रज्ञा का आर्ग्यूमेंट मैं बात करूंगा।
बोलिए सर, बोलिए।
साध्वी प्रज्ञा पर आरोप लगा था, उसने बम ब्लास्ट किया।
हाँ।
यहाँ पर दो अनआइडेंटिफाइड 36 मुसलमान और 15 हिंदू लोग मारे गए। आज जो इस डिबेट हो रही है, ये इनजस्टिस है उन लोगों के ऊपर। अगर वो लोग मारे गए हैं, उनको न्याय मिलना चाहिए। अगर उमर और ये लोग शामिल हैं, ये यूएपी के अंडर है, इन पर ट्रायल होना चाहिए जल्द से जल्द। लेकिन सवाल ये उठता है कि जिन्होंने उधर से आग भड़काई, उन पर आज 2025 में जाके एफआईआर हो रही है, वो तो यूएपी के अंडर नहीं है। और ये मेरे
सवाल का जवाब नहीं है। इंडिया नहीं, कितने लोग मरे इस पे सर? डॉक्टर धीमान
डिसाइड करेगा।
डॉक्टर धीमान, लिसन टू मी। डॉक्टर धीमान, 1 मिनट, एक बात तो सुन लीजिए सर प्लीज। डॉक्टर धीमान, लेट हिम स्पीक, 1 मिनट, लेट हिम स्पीक। डॉक्टर धीमान,
नहीं होगी यहाँ पर किसी की जाति और धर्म को देखकर एफआईआर
जाति और धर्म से नहीं होता है। आप लोगों ने जाति बोल के वहां नवारो भी जाति बोल रहे हैं। 1 मिनट, 1 मिनट, आई विल नॉट अलाउ दिस अब्सर्डिटी। डॉक्टर धीमान, लिसन टू मी, 1 मिनट सर, 1 मिनट। आप पढ़े लिखे हैं, ऐसी बातें मत कीजिए। 1 मिनट, आप एक बात बताइए, साध्वी प्रज्ञा के केस में
साफ एविडेंस है कि वो भड़का।
अरे सुन तो लो डॉक्टर धीमान, साध्वी प्रज्ञा के केस में सुनिए, साध्वी प्रज्ञा के केस में आप कह रहे हैं कि इतने लोग मरे, तो याकूब मेमन के केस में वो तो बॉम्बे ब्लास्ट का कंस्पिरेसी था, कितने लोग मरे उसको भी नहीं मान रहे। मिडनाइट हियरिंग, 1 मिनट, उनके भी कैंपेन शुरू हो गया था। सुन लीजिए, अफजल गुरु का कौन सा केस था? पार्लियामेंट अटैक, उसमें कितने लोग मरे? 1 मिनट, किसी ने बोला कि ये इनको हीरो मत बोलो। अफजल गुरु को लोग क्या बोलते हैं आपको पता है? आप बोलेंगे अफजल गुरु वाज अ टेररिस्ट?
जेल के पीछे मैं चाहता हूं, इस देश का संविधान चाहता है, इन दोनों पर यूएपीए लगा है, 5 साल जेल के पीछे है विदाउट ट्रायल। बस मैं ये चाहता हूं कि जिन पर एफआईआर 2025 में हुई है, जिन्होंने भड़काया, उस साइड से भी भड़काया, उन पे 2025 में क्यों हुई? क्या इसका मतलब भारत का लॉ एन्फोर्समेंट सिस्टम डिस्क्रिमिनेट करता है?
भारत का लॉ एन्फोर्समेंट सिस्टम 1984 राइट्स को कितने साल हो गए? क्या हुआ जगदीश टाइटलर का? क्या हुआ और भी जो लोग थे? सज्जन कुमार को कितने साल बाद सजा मिली? भारत का जस्टिस सिस्टम पे आप लोग सवाल सेलेक्टिवली उठाते हैं। और राहुल गांधी कौन सा सिस्टम फॉलो करते हैं? किसी को जब उनकी मर्जी होती है तो टेररिस्ट बोल देते हैं। अश्विनी जी, आप तो वकील हैं, ये कौन सा सिस्टम है राहुल गांधी का?
Sadhvi Pragya was called terrorist because she called Nathuram Godse the first terrorist of India a patriot. Anyone who thinks Nathuram Godse was a patriot who killed Mahatma Gandhi is a terrorist. I can call anyone. You name that person who's calling Nathuram Godse a patriot, I will call him terrorist. So
okay.
Rahul Gandhi made that statement.
Rahul Gandhi is justified saying someone a terrorist because of this reason.
This is an outrageous thing to rationalize your hypocrisy. It's a simple question. Ashwini ji was saying Umar Khalid has been singled out, denied bail because he is Muslim. The evidence that has been presented, by the way, it is so patronizing, especially for a lawyer to say this, that judges are foolish enough to be misled by the evidence that has been given to them. Number one. Number two, by him saying that the government is anti-Muslim, so the evidence that it is presenting towards the court is biased against Khalid. I want to ask him a simple question. In 2008, under the Congress UPA, Colonel Purohit was incarcerated. He was denied bail for 6 years. Was he denied bail because he was Hindu?
बताइए अश्विनी जी, इसका जवाब दीजिए जल्दी से।
He was still under trial, Anand ji. The trial has to begin. He was not in the jail without trial. The question is why someone is kept in jail for 5 years without trial?
Okay,
if you think he is guilty,
what has Ashwini ji, wonderful. What has happened to the Sikh riot cases, sir, anti-Sikh riot cases, and to cases against those people who were behind the genocide of a community in Kashmir? उसका स्टेटस चेक किया है आपने कभी? Their rights don't matter. Their rights don't matter.
Has to begin. Pranesh ji, I'm telling you about the judicial process which is supposed to take place.
So you know the judicial process. 1 minute. The High Court does not know the judicial process. Ashwini ji, the High Court does not know the judicial process. And what is this tweet? Let's put out that Kerala Congress tweet on screen. Look at this. Look at this comment. The courts will not dismiss this kind. The courts will not dismiss this kind of petition. Trivial matters like vote chori, bail application will not be heard. ये देखिए, एक और ट्वीट किया उन्होंने. ये क्या है? Is the Congress party above the Supreme Court?
Pranesh, we are asking a very simple question. How can you keep a person 5 years in jail without trial? What is that evidence you have? What is that investigation?
Leave that to the wisdom of the court. Tuhin Sinha, Dr. Ranganathan, I'm coming to you after this. Tuhin Sinha, quickly.
Pranesh, the Congress party is behaving like the new fringe. Please understand, if the bail was denied yesterday, it was because the judges clearly believed that there is prima facie very strong evidence of the grave involvement of these people in fomenting the communal riots if there was dearth of evidence, if there was lack of evidence, obviously they would have got bail. So when there is strong evidence, on what basis are these people, on what basis is Kerala Congress advocating for their release? Do they want to normalize these terror activities? Do they want more riots of this nature across the country where Hindus are killed? I think the Congress has a lot to explain to this country.
This is what is absolutely shocking and unacceptable. Is this debate on the slowness of the Indian justice system? If it is, then I am with everyone who's saying, after all, 50 million cases are pending. There are some cases that are as old as 35 years old. There are 230,000 POCSO and rape cases that are pending. Is that the discussion? No. The discussion these guys are bringing up is that Umar Khalid's trial is pending. Without telling the truth that there were so many other cases that are pending longer than Umar Khalid's trial. This is the problem with these guys. They look at the lens of subjectivity and religion every single time. And that is the reason why India rejects them.
And by the way, Atikur Rahman साहब, आपको ये जान के खुशी होगी, पता नहीं खुशी होगी या दुख होगा, counsel appearing for Umar Khalid asked for adjournment 7 times. They were also playing into this conspiracy to keep him in jail. एक बार होता है, 2 बार होता है, 7 बार सर adjournment.
What was the reason?
सर ये रीजन मैं बताऊं?
Reason for asking for adjournment?
तो सर ये बताइए, ये मैं बताऊं रीजन क्यों adjournment मांगा था?
I know what was the reason.
बता दीजिए सर, what was the reason?
I know what was the reason. But what according to you?
No, what was the reason? Tell us if you know the reason.
What
tell
according
us.
to
Why
you
are you not speaking up? No, what was the reason? Were you looking for a favorable date? Favorable date चाहिए था सर?
Has been a Nelson Mandela of India. We are proud of him. He is a Nelson Mandela of India.
Yeah, just like Rahul Gandhi's Mahatma Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's B.R. Ambedkar according to Udit Raj. वो भी नेल्सन मंडेला है. पता नहीं आप अपने आप को कैसे देखते हैं, मैं कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहता हूं, बट आई थैंक सम ऑफ यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस ऑन डिबेट नंबर 1. व्यूअर्स,